Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pop Culture Spread, our fun weekly movie and streaming news show. Jace, before we get into it, happy Easter, buddy, because it is Easter today in Australia. Happy Easter, everyone. All right, guys, let's get into it. What's in big news? Jace, I'm a little bit shocked with this one, mate, because we actually went and saw this movie last week. We're talking a bit of Godzilla and Ghostbusters. Some news has come out saying that Godzilla X Kong roars into a massive $75 million opening and Frozen Empire collapses. What's going on?
Well, it's a big shock over the weekend. It's only a couple of days into the long weekend of Easter, Rick. And Godzilla, against all predictions, has soared to a $75 million opening so far. Which is that all the best predictions for this were around 50 million, Rick. That's all it would kind of come in. But not only that, has it come in roaring. People are wanting to see some kaiju battle, mate. They're out there saying that. Is the fact of the massive collapse of, as it says, Frozen Empire, who's dropped 68% last weekend's, securing only, I think, $14 million. Rick, this is good news for the Godzilla and Kong franchise, with it doing such huge numbers. But I got to say, I'm shocked because I'm not a huge fan of that franchise. I'm surprised that so many people have gone and see it.
I am too. Like, I don't know why all of a sudden shift. Like, you would think, Ghostbusters with such big hype. I've seen more promotions with Ghostbusters than I have with Godzilla X, and all of a sudden it's just twisted.
Well,
and then
you would
people
think too, it would have had legs, Rick, based on the fact that that Ghostbusters traditionally, even though the new film may not be, but traditionally it's for everybody.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Whether you're a little girl or a teenage boy or a 65-year-old grandma, everyone kind of seems to enjoy that franchise. And I wouldn't have thought Godzilla and Kong would have been that type of franchise. Honestly, they came out with Monarch a few months ago, that series on Apple TV, and it was average at best, Rick. It was not good. And that was set in that universe, in the Monarch verse, let's call it. So, yeah, I mean, good luck to Godzilla Kong. I mean, I think it's got a good couple of weeks now, Rick. If we go back to the actual story and scroll down a little bit, I will. Yeah. I think it actually... what's coming up next? Nope, it hasn't really said it. But I think it's got a good couple of weeks anyway of being... nothing really coming at it that would threaten it from being number one.
Not really. You would think Ghostbusters would be the only one, but
No, well, that's it. That turkey is cooked. It is done. Bing, get it out of the oven, because it will only make less now. It won't bounce back. So I would suggest it'll be off screens in a couple of weeks.
People just want to see two giant kaijus go for it.
Yeah.
They don't want to see anything else. They just want to go in the movie, see that, and that's it. Well, fair enough. That's interesting to see that. But anyway, all right, Jace, let's get into some other news.
Speaking of Godzilla. That's it.
He's everywhere. Right. Speaking of, let's get into some MCU, mate. So the MCU Spiderman 4, considering directors like Justin Lin and Drew Goddard, as it hopes to start shooting this fall. Do we need another Spider-Man movie? Are we too soaked into this? What's going on?
We were talking Spider-Man a couple of weeks ago, mate, when the rumors were out, industry insiders, about the possibility of Sam Raimi doing a Tobey Spider-Man 4, and whether it was possible. And now Sony's basically let out the rumors, because it's coming from Sony, that Spider-Man 4 is looking at Justin Lin and Drew Goddard. Interestingly enough, wonder why all the rush is to get this film into production. Maybe Tom Holland has put an expiry date on it. I don't know. But yeah, both directors are competent. Justin Lin has done a few of the Fast and the Furious movies,
Yeah.
some really good ones. But he also did what I consider the strongest, what they call the Kelvinverse Star Trek movies, the ones that JJ made. He did the strongest one because he directed the third one called Star Trek Beyond, which is the best Star Trek film in that franchise, in that those series of films. Drew Goddard is good. He's a very talented individual. I mean, yeah, okay, but what's the story about? Like, is it an MCU film? Because I think it's more just a Sony Spider-Man film. Is
Is
this
it?
the film where they eventually cross everyone over, dude? That we do get to see Morbius. Morbius. Maybe we do. Maybe we get everyone. Maybe we get Madam Web characters in there. No,
No.
maybe it's the Venom crossover one that fans have been hoping for.
No. Is this just Sony because they're like, oh, you know what? We had an absolute freaking disaster with Madam Web. Let's try and deflect and try and say that, you know, we've got the backing of Marvel in this new Spider-Man movie. It's going to be great. I just can't say. I don't have any hope.
That's an excellent point,
I don't,
Rick. It's
I don't
an
have hope
excellent
for Sony.
point. That's exactly what they're doing. It's exactly what you said. This would be 95% of this is about changing the narrative of the marketing, what's out there at the moment. They need to fucking wipe themselves off all the crap that Madam Web dished on them. And apologies for swearing, but that film is an embarrassment on every level, and I'm shocked that I've been able to limit to those swear words, because that film was a misfire from the get-go, from development all the way through to production, and eventually on the cinema screen. And what else have they got coming out this year? Isn't it Kraven the Hunter's coming out?
Yeah, see, which has gone quiet now.
Good. Yeah, the trailer looked good, but honestly, dude,
I don't have
their
hope for it.
spin-off material besides the animated versions are garbage. So, yeah, look. But anyway, up here it says Tom Holland himself wants to make sure the next movie is worth suiting up for again. All I can say is that we've been actively engaging in conversations about what it could potentially look like a fourth edition of my character. Whether or not we can find to do it justice is another thing. Do the characters. I feel very protective over Spider-Man. I feel very, very lucky we're able to work on the franchise, that it got better with each movie, that it got more successful with each movie, which I think is really rare, and I want to protect his legacy, blah, 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 blah. Read between the lines? He hadn't signed on for nothing.
No.
He hasn't said, yes, he's doing this at all.
No. And does it even have the backing of Marvel in this as well? You know?
I have not heard Kevin Feige say anything. So,
correct.
So what this says to me, Rick, is what your observation of what's behind this article is absolute. I would say I'd put $100 on it. That's the absolute truth.
100%.
Because it's a marketing ploy all the way. And the other question it raises, Rick, do we even really want to see another Spider-Man?
No.
Are you that excited about seeing another Tom Holland? I expect him to see him in Secret Wars, but besides that,
I don't think we need a movie. I think you're right. We just need to see him in something else. Just like Secret Wars.
We've done his story. We've done
all that. We've had so many different Spider-Man movies over the time. So
I agree.
It's just time to let it rest. So I don't know. We'll see how we go, mate. All right. You know, speaking of the MCU, mate, let's get into the next story.
This is an interesting one, Rick, because, read the headlines.
It is, mate. Thunderbolts. Florence Pugh shares revealing video tour from the set of the Marvel movie. This is pretty exciting. They don't really do this. Well,
you know what, Rick? Slowly but surely, I doubted for a long time that this would even be made. When I had heard that they had to make cuts, I'm thinking Thunderbolts is Gonski. But they haven't. They've been moving ahead with it. They've been filming. And I'd say bit by bit, Rick, my mind has turned on this idea, and I'm kind of just, there's a little bit of excitement around this for me now.
Yeah, see?
And Marvel has taken a unusual step, and a very unusual step for them, where they've released prior to the movie social media clips from some of the performers in the movie, which is never happens. Usually it's lockdown, dude.
Everything's locked down.
You can't say nothing about nobody. You get a dart in the neck, all that kind of thing. But here, no, Florence Pugh came out. And I'm not going to play any of the audio because we'll get copyrighted for it. But this is her on the day of filming in her new outfit, by the looks, which looks really cool. She'll show a better one. And she's gorgeous. I really like Florence Pugh. I love the way her roles that she chooses. Yeah, she's pointing to the crew and...
So this is off her official Instagram. So
yeah, this is not leaked, and you know that she got clearance to do this. And it's really correct. Great. And she's been really smart about it because she's really keeping it on herself, only giving little bits and pieces of what's going on behind the scenes there. But it's great. Look at the size, scope of some of these sets. It's incredible, and I'm really excited because you know what. Out of Black Widow, the two standouts, the great things about that movie was her and Red Guardian, who are both back.
Yeah.
You know, and look, they're looking at, there's a bit of Video Village there, so which is pretty great. So, fantastic. So they're actually, you know, they're revealing quite a bit. And I think this is a very smart move, Rick. I think from a marketing perspective by Marvel, this is a great way to start to build up hype for this movie. And it's exciting. And if you saw there, and I think you'll get another look, they're even showing what looks to be
there's something on the screen there.
Yeah,
you got
that was her holding a gun. So
there's little Easter eggs probably everywhere. That
I just think that was, you know, if we're criticizing Sony's marketing team, because we just did, the Marvel's marketing team deserves a big pat on the back for that, because to me, I thought, this is great. We're getting to see something. It's slowly building up a bit of momentum around the film because it has potential. It could be a lot of fun. And in a way, they've been laying the seeds for this movie all the way back since Falcon Winter Soldier, right? So, because US Agent is in this film. So, awesome. I'm excited.
I like it. I think it's good. Like you said, everything's usually locked down tight, and then someone will come out and leak something or say something by accident on a TV show or something like that. And I think it's good. Just a little bit of a teaser. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see.
For the last 3 years, all I've done is complain about Marvel fatigue. That's all I've done. I feel like I'm over that period now. Right now, I feel a lot more optimism because the next thing that's coming out is Deadpool and Wolverine. So I'm excited about that.
Everyone's excited about that.
Thunderbolts and that. So I'm actually quite optimistic for the future of Marvel as we speak. That may change tomorrow, but today I'm feeling optimistic.
All right, mate. Well, me too. I'm looking forward to it. So get on to it. All right, mate. Let's get into the next story. Yeah. Another franchise which has been around, and I wasn't too sure about this one. But we've got Henry Golding teases grand plans for Snake Eyes G.I. Joe follow-up. Now, I didn't mind that previous Snake Eyes movie, the origin one.
I thought it was great. It was entertaining.
Yeah, it did blow me away, but then obviously something's right. They want to make another one.
Yeah, 100% they do. Well, obviously Henry Golding does because he would love a franchise under his belt. I'm sure he would. However, it's interesting that these conversations are being had after the film really failed at the box office and really wasn't that well received, that he's trying to come out and say there's an expansion of it. Now, spoiler alert, you know there are crossover elements with Transformers because at the end of the last Transformers film, what was that one called?
The Beast. Yeah.
The Beast one. We got that crossover right at the end about the G.I. Joe project. So it's interesting to me if Henry Golding is part of that universe. I suggest if he's coming out trying to hype up the return of a franchise, that would be it. However, Rick, I don't think it's got legs enough to be a theatrical thing. I think what they should be doing is looking at a Paramount Plus series. That's what I think. An 8-part series. Just give us all G.I. Joe. Fans would love it. I'd be into it. I still stand by it. That's where Ghostbusters should have done with Frozen Empire. That was made to be a Netflix series over like 8 to 10 episodes. And I think it would be fantastic to see G.I. Joe go down that way because I don't think it's worth spending $100 million plus on these films, because I just don't see the return at the box office.
They're not that strong. All the G.I. Joe movies have not been strong at all. So
No, they haven't. They haven't. Not
So,
at all.
you know,
So I wonder if it could really happen. Now, Golding was interviewed by comicbook.com and said, he goes, I mean, Lorenzo di Bonaventura is a busy man and a phenomenal producer, and it's in his safe hands. Whatever happens, I think it's going to be a combination of what has come and what is to come. I think Paramount have some grand plans. And what he's basically saying is, I don't know what the hell's going on. I think Paramount's going to do something. And if you saw the last Transformers, that's the clue. So really, this is an actor just wanting another acting gig.
if they cross it over, like, yeah, you know,
I
have legs with, with Rise of the Beast.
I'd be interested to see a Transformers G.I. Joe movie. I think
would be
there's something in that to go, well, how would you do that? You know what I mean? And in a way, I suppose a lot of these toy franchises, because that's what it is,
are doing very
well, are probably a bit kind of buoyed by the success of Barbie and thinking, well, we're for Barbie, we can do something great with our toy line. So who knows? There you go.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. We'll check that out, mate. We'll check that out. All right, guys. But before we get into the train wreck of the week, I just want to remind you guys that you can catch us on audio podcast on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. And you can also check out our links down below to like, subscribe, and follow across all our social media platforms there, guys. So if you want to check that out, Spotify, Amazon, and all good podcasts. Thanks, guys.
No
all right, Jace, let's get into the train wreck of the week. Who's hit the train this week, Jace?
Rick, this is becoming messy. Rebel Wilson's claims that against Sacha Baron Cohen denied by numerous people from the Brothers Grimby set. Now, if you haven't caught up on the story, Rick, basically Rebel Wilson released her autobiography, and one of the chapters she referred to an asshole on set that kept asking her to do highly sexual things on camera. Then she comes out and goes, I was talking about Sacha Baron Cohen, and he asked me to get naked in one scene, and then he asked him to shove something up his butt, and all this kind of outrageous kind of accusations, really looking to cancel Sacha Baron Cohen. Now, firstly, right? Yeah. The Brothers Grimby was made well after Borat, well after Bruno.
Correct.
Well, you know exactly, Ali G, you know exactly what type of film you're getting into.
Exactly.
Number one, he may have asked her, would you be willing to be naked in a scene? And she said no. That's the end of conversation. You know what I mean? He may have asked. You don't know. Whether he wanted to put something, it would have been simulated for the scene. Sacha Baron Cohen plays his outrageous characters, but is actually quite conservative in life. And it just has a very wicked sense of humor. However, she's come out and made all these accusations. Well, people behind the scenes are going, that didn't happen. That didn't go down like that. And honestly, I think it's hilarious that in this new world where you just need to say something negative about someone and they get cancelled. This is a sign of normality coming back, because people are going, hang on a minute, you can accuse them of this, but do you have any facts to base it up? Okay, now the book is due out next week, but here's some of the quotes that she come out with. It felt like every time I'd speak to Sacha Baron, he'd mentioned he wanted me to go naked in a future scene. I was like, I don't do nudity, Sacha. Another, which is far more descriptive, says Sacha Baron Cohen summons me via production assistant, then I'm needed to film an additional scene. Okay, where were we going to film this extra scene? He then pulls his pants down. Okay, now I want you to stick a finger up my ass. And it goes, like, for comedy reasons, it wouldn't have been real. As per the script, and here's his Sacha Baron Cohen reply like this. As per the script, which Rebel and I had read and approved of in advance, correct. Her character was attempting to put a finger in Sasha's butt. At no point did Sasha actually ask her to put a finger in his butt, though this entire period she was treated with the utmost respect and empowerment and was welcomed as a collaborator in all creative ideas. Isn't this interesting?
Wow.
She's also denying, saying, while we appreciate the importance of speaking out, these demonstrably false claims are directed and contradicted by extensive detailed evidence, including contemporaneous documents, film footage, and eyewitness accounts, those present before, during, and after the production Brothers Grimsley. This is awesome, dude, because he's like, come at me, bro. You want to call me this? I've got all this. So good luck with all that. So Rebel Wilson, who I really liked early in her career. If you're an Aussie, you would have known her from Fat Pizza Days. That's where she started. She was always very funny, very self-deprecating. And she's turned into a nut job. She's totally turned into a nut job here. And I'm so happy and glad to hear that Sacha Baron had all his ducks in a row and is ready to face this. If you have video film footage of this,
fair enough.
What are you going to do now?
You've got nothing to say.
Exactly.
This is just her hyping up and her book, trying to get it out there. A little bit of goss, a little bit of this. But I mean, if you remember watching the movie, I mean, you remember that scene with Mark Strong, and he, at the end scene, and he had to sit on that giant firework, and it was up his arm. Like, this is what he does. Like, come on, she's got no legs on this at all.
No,
like,
at all.
That's
why. That's why Ricky was train wreck of the week.
Great train wreck, Jay. Absolutely loved it. Awesome. All right, buddy. Well, that about wraps up the show for this week. Another great show. Appreciate everyone joining us, guys. If you want to catch myself and Jace, you can check us out here on Pop Culture Spread. All the links are down below, guys. We've got a whole backlog of catalog that you can check out all our old videos. Jace, is there anywhere else that the guys can catch you as well?
They can find me in several locations. Go check me out on TikTok, VHS Jace. You can find me over the Captain's Quadrant each week where I talk Trek. And go check me out over the Jason Roy Gaston channel where we're covering a lot of stuff at the moment, including Avatar, live action series, Gargoyles. I've never seen that before. We're doing movie reviews. There's a lot happening over there as well. But most importantly, check me out here each week.
All the links down below. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll see you then.
See ya. Thanks for watching. If you could do us a massive favor and hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. Also, come and check out us on all our social media accounts and keep up to date. And if you're looking for some clothing, you're needing some merch, we've got you covered at the Pop Culture Spread store.